Alright, so progress on the chair. I've got the 4-point harness. I got that ordered and that came in. I got the lower half. I got the paddles mounted, the center truss for the hinges. That's mounted. I'm currently working on mounting the motors, and then I've got the tie rods, connecting rods right there. And these are the motors I'm going to use, using big heavy ones for, surge. Hopefully they'll be able to lift me a pretty good amount out of the seat. So I'm making the mounts for those right now. That one's still on the motor, measuring out. This one is over in the vise. I'm welding it up. Basically, I'm going to cut this one back a little bit. It basically needs to be at the same point of the bolts, or else the motor won't fit inside of the cradle. But then at the ends, I'm going to weld on these tabs that'll screw into the 2x4s. They'll mount, the motors will mount pretty much here, and the other one here. And they're going to have to be offset a little bit, and these will mount onto the hubs, wheel hubs that are, going to be the makeshift drums, essentially right there. I'm going to figure out a way to mount those on there, and then I'm going to pile. These are going to basically be the lever arms that I'm going to weld on. Sorry, it's hard to, there we go. I'm going to weld on to the side of the hub like that, and then mount those connecting rods onto the end there, and then create a mount, or a bracket, on the bottom of the paddle. And that's basically how that'll work. And then I'll get it wired up like I pretty much have this wired up. I've put the SMC3 modified software on the Arduino, but it only works for one motor because it only clips one section of the potentiometer, and the potentiometers are opposing because the motors are opposing. So it basically, the other one doesn't clip, it goes to the full range, so it doesn't do what I need it to do. So I need to find software or figure out how to modify it to get the top portion working, and then wire up the bottom. But I'm just going to wire up the bottom, get everything working on the bottom, and then figure out the software after everything's wired up and stuff. So right now, getting back to creating the mounts for the motors, and then getting those mounted, drilling out those holes, welding those onto the side of the hubs, getting those mounted, and then making brackets for the bottom of the paddles. And then the last thing to do will basically be to mount the 4-point harness to the 2 drums and the wheel hub drums. And then that's pretty much everything. Then it will be ready for testing after I get the software sorted. So I'll show you guys another video once I have more progress.